Wa Papo means coming together in Yoruba.
Wa Papo is about spiritual challenges and overcoming them. Taking bits and pieces of what we can reconstruct of Africa and what we know about Africa and our desire to be a part of that long-term connection. I started doing art when I was a little kid, and I really started to think about my maturity as an artist very recently. So my art is a kaleidoscope. I play with shapes and colors, and I push them together, recreate into new sort of shapes and ideas, and so it's fluid by nature. And I include myself and my body into that as well. Like, I am constantly changing, I'm constantly evolving.
I got started in photography mainly because I stopped drawing and painting and stuff like that. I kind of like put that aside, and I was really into computers and programming. I didn't go to art school, but I spent a good 10 or more years studying with a master artist. I started building my chops up shooting as being a photographer for this American Society of Civil Engineers. And they paid me in advance to produce some CDs for them. I shot in Portugal, Lisbon, Portugal, Madrid, Spain, and we did France, Paris, France. And then in other years, we did Chile, Argentina, and Brazil, and then Athens, Greece. So I got a lot of travel photography.
Days photography captures the soul of just quiet and beauty and serenity. And you can just see that touch of the admiration for the divine, for I guess the regular, the supernatural as well with his pieces. And you know, nature is something that's bigger than any of us, you know, and we are also a part of nature. And I think with his photos, he just makes it very clear that he is observing nature as being a part of nature.
Since I started like shooting in nature, I ended up shooting models in nature. And it's funny because some of the girls, they don't really go out in nature. They're city girls. I liked my pictures that I was shooting, and I thought I was, you know, kind of okay. And I was out of work during this dot bomb thing when all these computer engineers were laid off. And my uncle, Uziki Nelson, he hooked me up with some artists, friends of his, that needed websites built. And I knew how to do HTML and stuff like that. And this was the early days of the web, right? We're talking still back in the 90s. And one of the artists he introduced me to was this figurative artist named Michael B. Platt. And Michael B. Platt would just bug me about showing my work. And he said that you do this fine art photography. And I would help him mount some shows every other year at this event called Artomatic that's held in DC. And after like 5 years of Mike bugging me and me helping him to do it, one day I decided to do it. And I did it in 2007. Mike showed me how to frame my pictures up, and I mounted my little exhibition. And during the show, I sold one picture, and I call that picture my signature picture. It's called The Seeing Eye Smiles. And I got a notice from the city to submit a portfolio to the DC Arts and Humanities. They requested a particular couple of pictures, whatever, And so I put together some larger versions of those pictures. A couple months later, they bought 3 pictures. So I could say my first show, I sold 4 pictures. And right now, the city has a half dozen of my works in their collection. And then Mike got me kind of used to shooting figuratively, and I shot a couple of his models, and some of them I took into Rock Creek Park. My partner, Lyric Prince, is a Richmond, Virginia artist, and we've both been doing art about the same amount of time, even though we got a wide age difference. I ran into Lyric after an art show, and I just liked her skin tone. I firmly believe that a really good picture starts with the light first before the composition. Light plays a large role in what I do. And she was an artist, and we were talking and stuff, and I just asked her if I could shoot her sometime soon. And we started talking about this shoot that I was planning to do in the summer when the sunflower field is ready.
I've started out with being, paid model in the shoots, and that snowballed into me doing this sort of series where we collaborate on ideas related to, just ancestry, family, togetherness, and memories. Wa Papo is a story about a story that both Dave and I came up with in terms of just thinking about reimagining ourselves and myself. My own body is this African diasporic sort of being, super being. So Dave and I, with this Wa Papo series, are putting my artwork where I am making these large scale pieces. Well, large for me, and they're around 6 feet square. And then we just make the photographs happen where I position myself with masks that I also make. And then he provides the lighting, the technical details of how to place different elements of equipment, also like the framing of the shot. So we bring our respective strengths to each and every one of these productions, as well as the conceptualization of it. Just what are we feeling? How are we feeling? Is the energy between us good? Thinking about our past, our ancestry, how that can be mixed and changed with successive generations, and what's the original meaning of things in ancestry. So altogether, we're just recreating this story of ourselves. This is us making a storybook. We're constructing these images, we're constructing these memories, this ancestral memory of rituals we did, how we looked, how we felt, what sort of elevations we were trying to go through. And I think with memory and making documentation like what we and Dave are doing, a big part of what I'm doing as a painter is also just documenting part of myself and my soul. And when I do a body painting, it just becomes a way of recopying a piece of myself onto myself and then projecting that self into a photograph, with Dave's help. It's like a game of mirrors almost when you think about all the ways things to reflect off each other. And Dave as a partner is phenomenal. And so getting those two energies together really resonate, I think, in the artwork and make it work. And Dave has just been wonderful support for me with creating this idea.
So I look forward to doing a lot more work with Lyric and inside of our partnership, Wa Papo.